Alright, so today I'll be replacing the wheel studs on a Caldina GTT. I got these replacement wheel studs that you can see in the video from Toyota. I just decided to replace all of them because one was broken. So first we jacked up the car from the rear jack points. We're only doing the rear wheel studs today just because that's all we got up to. As you can see in the video, we've got our jack stands as well. So once we take the wheel off, you can really see the broken stud. It was pretty bad. It was pretty smoothed down. That was because of a stripped lug nut that just broke it. So once the handbrake's off, we used a 12mm socket to remove the bottom bolt of the brake caliper. You then slide the caliper upwards and push it back. So you'll see that in a second. But we used a breaker bar as it was quite tight, but it wasn't too hard. So we actually noticed here that the bolt was bent, so we'll be ordering a new one from Toyota. It's really rusty as well, but that's okay. So as you see here, we slide it up and pull it out. You need to make sure that you get some wire and you hang it up. As you can see in this clip, hang on the coilover, use 2 pieces of wires if you want, just so you don't ruin your brake lines and bubbles, whatever. So this video is sort of shit, but you can sort of see that there's 2 bolts in the back. They will get off the caliper bracket. They are 14mm, and you just use a breaker bar with an extension to get them off as there's stuff in the way. You can see us struggling here. So once you take this bracket off, just be really gentle with the brakes. It's fine if they fall off, but probably better to just leave them on because then you don't have to put them back on. So in the next clip, you see that the rotor's really stuck on. We tried the hammer trick, doesn't work. Next trick we tried was putting bolts into these small little holes and you sort of tighten them until they pop the rotor off. It's just a trick to use if it's really rusted. So as you can see, that didn't really work. The rotor's really stuck on and we were kind of confused. Next step to try is you move the rotor around because we noticed it was stuck on the handbrake shoe. So if you move the rotor that tiny hole to the bottom, you will see a cog in there. That cog needs to be moved downwards in a downwards position using a screwdriver. In the first clip you see we're actually doing it the wrong way. We just didn't know which way to do, but you need to push it downwards and that will tighten the handbrake shoe. It means the rotor's not really stuck on it anymore and you can just wiggle it off. So we get it off finally. To next get the wheel studs out, you just hammer them. Just hammer them as hard as you can. Don't mess up, but they come out really easily. Since it's so tight, it's sort of a bit hard to get them out from between. You just need to move them around, move the handbrake shoe, and they'll end up coming out. But yeah, it's not too hard. You then put a new stud in, exact same way you took it out basically. And then to tighten it, you put a bolt on the end or some spacers, something like that. And then you line up the the wheel nut, and then you just tighten it as hard as you can. It took 2 of us to tighten it, and I filmed it, and you can see us struggling. Just use a screwdriver to hold it there. It's probably the best way to keep it all still, and you just tighten it really tight. So make sure the stud's in line with all the others. So as you can see, you can sort of see the end of it coming through. That's about right, I think. And then in this video, you can see us struggling and pulling our whole weight against each other just because you have to do it really tight. This is how you take out the nut. You sort of got to wiggle it around. Oh, sorry, the stud. I keep saying that. Give it a good wiggle. That's how you get it in, get it out. And that's that big hole in the bottom left or out the top right. That's the way we put it in. It's probably the easiest. And there we go. All 5 done. Pretty good. Then make sure you tighten that handbrake shoe up. I don't know what I'm saying. Do it upwards this time, just like I filmed in the first clip and here. We just did it wrong the first clip anyway. And then you're done. Cool, tighten, put everything back together and cool.